I'm so over it, out of patience, and it's wearing me down like a time bomb ready to explode. Just leave me alone, 'cause I can't wait to go the fuck home and get the fuck home.
Hello, everyone. I am Matthew Thomas. You are watching Super Cool Radio. Got some great guests with me at this time from New Jersey. They are Aurin. Thank you so much for hanging out with me.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Hey, I'm doing good. And joining me at this time, we have Sarah on lead vocals, Andrew on guitar, and Lisa on bass.
Hello.
Thank you for hanging out with me.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks. Pleasure to be here.
So I know we got a whole lot of stuff to discuss, obviously, with the new single dropping and everything, but I'm going to start with a fun question to kick this interview off. So if you guys could collaborate with a living artist on like your future song, who would it be?
You want to go first? I think we know who you would collaborate with.
I mean, just because they're kind of my childhood favorite, alternative metal band, probably Aaron Lewis from Stain.
That'd be cool. That'd be all right.
I just always loved his voice. So
Very cool.
All right, I could dig that.
So for me, I've been listening to like Asking Alexandria a lot lately, like their new music I really like. And I think Danny Warstop has an amazing voice, and that would be amazing to collaborate with him on something.
Another great band, yes. Especially they've been killing it lately too. Especially with like their, I think they released an album last year. I want to say, like it was really, last year or 2 years ago. It was really good.
Yeah.
Does it have to be an artist that's still active, or is this just like hypothetical?
As long as they're not dead, I'll say it's good.
Not dead. All right. I think I would have to pick. This is someone who's probably not our style of music necessarily, but I think would be interesting. I would go with Susie Sue from Susie and the Banshees.
I know you were going to say that. Yeah.
Well, all right.
I think
yeah.
really
you give the right person.
you could do together,
That's one of Lisa's favorites.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting collaboration.
Yeah.
Honestly, that would be cool.
Yeah, right?
Definitely. That would be like a genre changer for us, I feel like.
Yeah. It would be an interesting song to hear Susie breaking down to some metal, and to hear us maybe go a little bit in the direction of some backcave or post-punk, Might be interesting. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'd be for that, though. I'd be all for that.
Oh, well.
The one band I thought of for you guys, and I know you guys will be playing a festival with them coming up. I think you guys at Fate Destroyed would be really awesome.
Oh yeah, they're really good. I'm super stoked to check out their set at Blue Ridge.
Yeah, that's kind of like when I was thinking of this. That was like my answer that I would have for it, because I'm the host. I get to ask fun questions.
Yeah, no, that's an awesome suggestion. I love that one.
Yeah, plus you guys got a show coming up with them that we're going to talk about coming up in a little bit. But first, I want to talk about the killer single that just released last week and the music video this week. That is Over It. So how was it writing and recording this single?
So this is actually our first self-engineered single, and that was an experience.
Yeah, I tracked and mixed everything. So I took all the band's parts and mixed them, and it was my first time doing it. So
yeah,
I learned. I mean, that's kind of was my hobby during the pandemic, was just learning and trying to soak up as much engineering and digital audio world stuff that I could. And that's what I came out with.
Yeah.
So I just hope to get better and do more from here, because our usual experience was we would prepare, depending on if it was months on end, or we'd set a deadline, and we'd have a producer lined up and go into a studio, all that fun stuff. And I think at this point, not only for monetary reasons, but the fact is, hey, I guess I've been hoarding audio gear for the past year and a half and been trying to figure it out. Let's put it to use.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Andrew did a great job with the mixing and everything. It just, I mean, the single sounds great. So I couldn't be happier with his ability. He's learned a lot really fast, and it's, you know, he did a good job. So that was
Yeah,
good.
Thank you. Coming from my own band, but thank you.
Yeah, but if it wasn't good, you know, I would tell you. So
Yeah, you would.
Yeah. No, we'd throw you under the bus there.
yeah.
But I'm actually kind of surprised here. Like first time actually, like for your band actually like mixing and producing it. It does sound really good. And I'm the host. I'm independent, so I can actually give my opinion on it.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I really dig it.
We were very nervous to release it, actually, because it was our first self-engineered and mixed album. I mean, song, not album.
We're getting
I
to
still
that.
sent it out for mastering,
Yeah.
but because I wasn't about to deal with that. But
Yeah, so we still had Andy Vendette, who mastered our last album, Serotonin. We had him come in and master over it as well. And
he didn't send it back saying this is a piece of junk, you know, redo it. So that's a good start. I mean, he's worked on so many amazing albums throughout the years. So just the fact that he was like, this isn't garbage, you know, do it again. It was an honor enough.
yeah, no, he's amazing at what he does, and we're happy to have used him again for this song.
Yeah, it just turned out phenomenal. Just and like just the whole well, actually, I'm going to transition to the music video coming up very soon. But just like the whole sound, the whole like message and themes in it, I thought it was very well done, very well written, and produced musically as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, we
Really
appreciate it.
It means a lot.
Yeah.
Of course, and so like for anyone who like hasn't listened to it yet, you know, I featured on my show actually just last week. What can they expect like musically and lyrically from Over It?
So the song is very high energy. I like to say it's like, it sounds like kind of a mix between Paramore and Trivium. That's the best way that I can describe it.
Yeah.
The lyrics are like kind of dark and comedic and kind of just highlight how it feels to be sick of dealing with the daily grind and how it feels to be stuck at a job that you hate, and just like kind of all the mindless things that you would rather be doing as opposed to being at work, which I feel like a lot of people can relate to, especially a lot of essential workers throughout the pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, if anything happened over the past year and a half, we realized how uniform our lives were, and how when, you know, you're not able to change, you really, really, really don't. And maybe the only thing that changed about me in the past couple of years is I learned some stuff and I grew outwards, you know.
And you
I
grew
ate a
your hair,
lot.
too.
Yeah, and I grew my hair out because I'm like, screw it. I don't care.
Yeah, for sure. I do like the Paramore and Trivium combination. I think I do agree, especially like the hooks in there as well. I can definitely see like both bands, kind of like a nice mashup of both bands. So it is really cool, and I do think like the whole song is very relatable, especially as you said, like 2020 into this year now, end of this year now. I think it's very relatable. I think a lot of people are kind of, I've noticed people are making changes in their life. Like, hey, I'm tired of doing this job. I want to go back to school. I want to do something else. So I think it's definitely very relatable to everybody.
Yeah, I think it did open a lot of people's eyes as to like how things really are and how fed up, you know, people have been working at meaningless jobs.
I mean, it's also kind of an odd, it's kind of odd at the same time too, because, you know, especially a lot of essential workers over the past, you know, year and a half have been treated rather poorly, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, even when we were under lockdown and couldn't really leave our homes except for absolute necessities, you're still waiting to get home. You know, you still are, you know, anything is better than what you had to deal with outside, even though it was the same old four walls inside. And to even be looking forward to going back to the same old monotony speaks volumes.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I do definitely agree with that. I know a lot of people are like, "Yeah, I get to work in my office again." I'm like, "Cool." I mean, because I got tired. People got tired. I mean, I know people are tired of like working at home because it's like, man, I'm just sitting at a desk all day, but at least I'm at home. So I'm like, yeah, at least you got something slightly different. At least you can do more stuff than when you're at office. So
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's funny because, like, yeah, I've worked from home for a while now before the pandemic. Well, I travel when I need to, and I've known people that that are kind of in my field and people I'm friends with that either their marriages got destroyed or they hate their kids now because they weren't able to leave the damn room, and their kids were constantly on them, and it just created all this enmity and all this problems between them. And I'm like, luckily we get along great.
Yeah. Well, we didn't kill each other.
Yeah, well,
I was furloughed for I guess a month, and then went back to work. And
the only time we fight is when it's without the band, so it's fine.
Yeah, I've witnessed a lot of those.
A lot of creative differences, but I feel like in the end it works out for the best because we usually come to some kind of middle agreement.
And the product is always good. It's always a good end result. So I feel like it's worth it.
Yeah.
At each other's throats for that couple minutes, and then all right, cool, now we're good.
Well, in the end, it's all theocracy is the right word. We're not, putting out stuff that I just want to, or that Sarah just wants to. Democracy. That's it. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm tired. It's just, we make sure that the entire band likes it. It's something that we all want to put out. It's not just one person driving the car, so to speak.
Right.
Granted, for safety reasons, only one person should ever drive the vehicle, but you know what I mean.
Nice disclaimer you put in there.
Yeah, next thing you know.
Want to be sued.
Yeah. The Super Cool Radio promotes two people driving in the same seat.
Yeah, definitely don't want that. Even though I remember my one friend took driving classes. The instructor, he had to drive his car, and he had a brake on the passenger side. So if he didn't like what you were doing, he would just hit the brake.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I feel like that is a very smart feature to have when you're teaching kids how to drive.
I'm betting
the first time I ever took off in a car, I went out of my street and almost into a stop sign. So I can say, thankfully, they have those second brakes, because I had no idea what I was doing.
I think my girlfriend wants to have that installed in my car for when she's in the car with brake whenever she doesn't know what's happening. She thinks I drive like a maniac. I don't. I'm a very safe driver, but she would like to have that little brake in my car, I bet.
Until someone gets in it. You're a very safe driver until someone gets in the car and you're like, holy shit.
No, I'm safe. I always look. I'm very.
You always look.
I mean, when I'm changing lanes or whatever. I
always have my eyes open, but I don't pay attention. I don't look left or right. And I just floor everything.
I understand. I've seen people change lanes and they're just like, oh, good luck, everybody. And they just do whatever.
I mean, that's just New Jersey.
Oh, that's a Jersey thing? All right, I got you.
Yeah, what do they call it? The Jersey
shuffle? Jersey slide.
Oh.
You just go across 3 lanes of a highway without signaling or anything like that. Jersey slide.
I've been in the car with friends who've done that before.
I've done it. Yeah. I mean, I'll admit to being an asshole on the road sometimes.
I've been in the car with people who've done that, and I've been a little bit like, what's happening right now? Am I going to live? I don't know.
It's kind of funny because in the heat of the moment, you're like, screw it, I need to get over. And then you're like, what did I just do?
I did something like that only once, and it was at 10 o'clock at night, so there wasn't that many people on the road. Thank goodness. I was on the highway, and a spider decided to lower itself. And you guys know how I feel about insects, so naturally I was like, oh shit, and I swerved, but without even looking. I could have died. I could have killed someone. Thank God that no one was on the road with me at that moment, but it was scary. And then when I stopped on the shoulder, I was like, wait, what did I just do? Oh my God. It was a bad situation, but I panicked, and it was just like a natural reaction.
Well, that's what she would do if she found a bump in her car. She'd immediately find a way to pull over.
If it was a cockroach or something, forget about it.
Yeah, well, I have an tree
somewhere or in a ditch.
Insects, so I couldn't have that on my body. I was like, nope.
Yeah. It's a nice realization. Oh, what did I do? I just committed 4 traffic violations.
Yeah, really.
It's luckily nobody saw you.
Nobody, no, thank goodness. And I mean, maybe I should have admitted that on the radio, but whatever.
I mean, kind of a funny, quick story. When I was a stupid kid at 17, my brother and I just got my license, and we went out And you talk about traffic violations for something stupid. We went out for White Castle. That's kind of like let's go celebrate. And I'm driving down Route 17. It's a highway in New Jersey. And it's like, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night. And I don't know where I am. I know the vicinity of the place. I know I'm in the vicinity of the place, but it's also a crowded highway. Maybe not as much at 11 p.m., but I'm in the vicinity, and I'm like, oh, there it is. And all of a sudden, I just stop and reverse on the highway and pull into the White Castle. I was 17. I'm going back a long time now, but that was one of the dumbest things I ever did. I was like, I don't know what the U-turn is. I'm just going to go straight to the White Castle. That's how you do it.
I did that on Route 21 once, where I just backed up and like, as I was getting on the exit in Belleville, and it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and there had just been a huge accident, and the whole highway was blocked off. So I just got on, so I was like, no thanks, and I just kind of like backed up out of the ramp. There was no one coming, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But like on 21, that's a pretty.
Yeah, the people go like 95 down there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, go to merge on and go, you know what? No.
Yeah, exactly. I saw the wall of cars, and I saw like the accident. It wasn't that far ahead of the entrance, so I just kind of noped out of that as well. I was like, no.
Yeah, I was on a highway, like I was like 5 minutes from home, and there was like a huge accident. Everything got shut down, and like there was construction, so there was only one lane anyway. So like you can't pass anyway. So like everyone just started turning around on the highway and going back up the ramp. So I was like, well, I'm not staying here for this, so I'll just do the same thing.
At that point, you might as well follow the herd, right? Screw it.
Doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a nice sidebar about traffic violations and stuff.
Yeah, right.
All right. So getting back on topic. So the music video for Over It, I thought it was really well done, especially like the intro talking about real events, alien abduction. I thought it was really cool. So how was it filming the music video for Over It?
It was a lot of fun. It was definitely very different than our other videos.
Yeah, the first thing we said was no performance. Well, performance videos are fun. They're overdone. Granted, they're the standard, and they're the standard for a reason. But I figured, if we could do something that kind of fits the song and kind of is also comedic at the same time and brings kind of a different layer to it, then definitely, let's take it and run with it. And we hired Jake from
Follow the House Productions.
You can say it, that's fine. Yeah, we work with Jake Salazar, if anybody's curious. And it was a great experience. He showed up with we had the locations, and he showed up with all kinds of this big script and scene list, and everything was accounted for. So he made sure we didn't miss anything. Was checking it off as he went, and not to speak ill of any other videos we have, because we love people we've worked with on past videos. But that's we have an idea from it, and you kind of scope it out. Budgets aren't super high, and we have the idea, and we go along as we work with what we have. And here we kind of went out of our especially. Jake really went out of his way to, make sure everything was totally cohesive, especially because you couldn't just say, oops, we forgot that. Here's some guitar, and, to cover it up with.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like when you have no performance at all.
I mean,
like,
you kind of
have to make
sing
sure
through
that,
it, sort of. But
yeah, but aside from that, I mean, you have to make sure that everything fits together and makes sense.
Yeah, and this was the first time that I don't know about you guys, but I know that this was the first time that I had to actually sort of act in a video. Because like at this point, it was we were doing the performance, and then the actors and actresses would be doing the whatever the story was. But this time we were part of the story, so I had to make faces at the camera. I had to try and pretend to be a certain way, and it was like really, it was a lot of fun. It was a new experience. I like performance videos, but I thought this was just like a new thing to try out, and I thought that like the end result was excellent. I thought The story was great. The people that we worked with were excellent. Our volunteers were crazy talented and awesome. So
Yeah.
it was a lot of.
Also, rope burn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we definitely had ligature marks from getting tied up with rope.
So Lisa's, we brought Lisa's friend in. I don't know if Lisa wants to name her, but we brought her friend in. She plays one of the aliens, and
also she plays my boss in the.
Oh
in
yes,
the
yeah,
work
she plays your
scene,
boss.
too. Yeah.
And she was watching us try to tie each other up with this rope, and she's like, no. And she came in, and she's just like, ugh. I'm like, oh god damn, that hurts.
That's Sasha.
So I have a picture, like when I got out of the chair and I got untied, and there were literally ligature marks up and down my wrists and arms. From struggling and also sitting in a chair for an hour.
Yeah.
Tied to a chair. Because it was kind of funny because they started tying me up at the tail end of when he was setting up the lights and the camera backdrop, whatever. And I think there was a couple things that they didn't quite set up yet, so I was just sitting there for a long time. I was the first to go in the chair, and I was just sitting there going, "Guys, what's going on? It's starting to hurt a little bit." And then they finally start recording, and they're like, "And struggle." I'm like, "It already hurts. Come on."
Yeah, that I mean, I think it's okay to name her. That's my friend Sasha, and she doesn't play around. She won't.
Yeah.
She was
She
hilarious.
knows what she's doing.
Yeah. She was really great to work with too. Though I thought she did a good job. She was.
Yeah. No,
excellent.
she was awesome. She was like very enthusiastic about being there, being in the video, and like she was like all about it, which was really cool.
Yeah.
It looked all the scenes, like the whole like story, as you said, there's continuity with everything, and especially like since you're doing like a non-performance music video, it has to tell a good story, and that's what I really enjoyed about it, was the story being told in the music video. And also you got to make it look legit, so that's why I actually really tied up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the scene I really liked was Sarah, you're pulling in your car and like you see a map behind you, but then like they pull the map down and it's two aliens.
Yeah.
That had me laughing so hard at that. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, the lyric hoping that I hope to get taken by aliens, and then they just like kind of notice and pay attention, and yeah, that's the story of how I got abducted.
It was really cool. I'm gonna leave a link to that in the description. I definitely highly recommend everyone check it out. It's a very well done music video. I really like the music, everything. It just blends very well together with everything.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
It's kind of fun. I was talking to I don't know if you're familiar with Illusions of Grandeur from Pennsylvania. They were talking about they did a music video. I think it was The Wolf, I want to say, and we were talking about it that they were so nervous because like they don't act, like they're like, we just play bass or we play drums or whatever, so now we have to act in a music video and like we don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's kind of like awkward at first. It's like it helps if you have somebody giving you direction through those kind of things. And I have to say that Jake was very good with that.
Yeah, he was actually. He was really good with that, and he was patient as well, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Having someone on set to actually like help you through it, especially if like you're not used to acting and like actually like it's easy to play yourself on stage because obviously it's you, but like having to act in a music video with like obviously with other scenes tying to it, it is different. It's a very different experience.
Well, yeah. I mean, having somebody that's there that sees through the lens of their camera, knowing what it's going to look like in post, telling you what you should do to help it along. And what would look good really does help, having somebody with that kind of experience.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. That definitely helps. It makes everything look better, especially like since he's actually filming it and editing it. He knows what to look for and what to do.
Yeah.
Which that helps.
That was the thing we were definitely impressed with most.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with winging it. God knows we've done it plenty of times. We have some pretty powerful videos, I think. But, it was really kind of cool to see this whole rigid structure that we, kind of dealt with when shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. And again, I'll leave a link to the description. Definitely check it out. It's also coming up very soon. You guys will be performing at Blue Ridge Rock Festival coming up very soon. So how does it feel to be part of that awesome festival?
We're super excited. There's so many great bands on the lineup, and it's going to be an awesome 4 days that we've really been looking forward to for a while, especially since during the pandemic, we weren't able to go to any concerts at all or play live at all. So this is like really making up for it, I feel like.
Also, I haven't had a real day off I've had a day off, but I haven't had a vacation or much time off to do anything in the entire year. So I just need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, so this is like also like a mini vacation too. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. Me and my friend are gonna go down and we're gonna camp out
Mhm.
in the mountains in Virginia, and I hear it's supposed to be absolutely beautiful, and I love camping, and I haven't been able to do it for I think 2 years coming up at this point. So I'm excited about it. I'm
Well,
excited.
what's hilarious is
It looks
because
really
Blue
nice
Ridge
out there.
has camping, but you and
Yeah,
your
but
friend are gonna go to a random
Yeah.
place in the woods and camp somewhere.
Yeah, but it's gonna be amazing, and it's not gonna be crowded.
Exactly. I mean,
That's
that's
what I was
that's
saying,
smart.
If you get abducted before we play, though, I'm gonna be pissed.
I mean, I've seen lots of movies where that does happen, so I'm not making any promises, but I'm gonna cross my fingers.
Or eaten by a bear. Try to avoid the bears.
Yeah. I'm with Boris, and he's in the army, and he knows how to throw down, so I feel like he'll protect me. Either that or he'll throw me and run. So who knows?
Well, that is survival. So I mean,
Yeah, true.
Yeah, he'll just wrestle a bear. It'll be cool. No worries.
No, I've seen
You
him
can take it there.
things, so who knows? We'll see what happens. I think I'll be all right.
See him suplexing a bear. It can happen. I mean, but you get to avoid everybody if you camp by at a different place, because everyone's going to be camping. You'll be next to a bunch of people, so I can see camping with like no one around. That would be cool.
Yeah.
yeah.
I wonder. There's got to be some people though going to the same area that you guys
Oh,
are.
I
I'm
imagine
sure you'll meet some people.
It's about an hour away from the venue, so I imagine.
Oh, really? It's that far? Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you think about it, like we're not going to be going to the festival every day, so it's like a nice distance. It's not that far. It's not that
Mhm.
close. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm also really, really, really excited to play the festival. I've never been involved in something that's this big of a deal. Like I've played on decent sized stages, but like never this magnitude. It's mostly been like bars and bigger show venues, but never like a huge festival where there are national acts. It's just gonna be really exciting.
Yeah. There's a lot of bands to check out too.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like entertainment everywhere.
Yeah, it's a huge music festival. As you said, bunch of huge national acts there, plus like some obviously some regional and local and everything. But yeah, it's a huge festival. So it sounds like a lot of fun. Fortunately, I'm not gonna make it, but it definitely sounds like a good time.
Oh, there's always next time.
Yes, there's always next year, unless I get abducted by aliens too. I mean, it could happen.
I mean, it could happen to anybody.
It could
I
happen.
wonder how
At any
big
time.
2022 is going to be if 2021 is this big at Blue Ridge. It's going to probably be a pretty killer festival too.
They might as well make it a week. I mean, 4 days, just add another couple days.
Yeah, screw it.
Yeah.
Why not go big? 7-day passes.
That'd be a
I
7-day.
think I'd be dead after that.
Be
I mean,
insane.
I think the most I did was like Rock on the Range out in Ohio, and that was like 3 days, I think, when I've been there. And I was dead after that. This is 4, and I go to Comic-Con every year, and that's not anything like a festival. That's just a bunch of, sweaty people in the Javits Center in New York. And
Comic-Con. So
but
much
yeah,
fun.
it's amazing. But that's just you're standing around walking in an air-conditioned venue. Well, I guess now it's between many venues, but and that after Sunday on that, I'm dead. I can't imagine what I'm gonna feel like driving home or back from the festival. I'll be like, I can't move.
I
I-
feel so old because it's like the same thing after I come back.
My
from-
neck will be stiff, you know. I won't be able to turn to see the rearview mirrors or the side view mirrors. God, if I can't see the rearview mirror, that's bad. It's like right there.
Mhm.
So,
Just commit some traffic violations like we talked about. You'll be fine.
exactly.
Yeah.
Though I think in Virginia they're a little more strict with their traffic violations, so try to
Yeah,
stay.
from what I hear, like you gotta make sure that you're following the speed limit at all times because they will pull you over.
Yeah, the reckless driving is a little tolerant
They have a zero
threshold.
tolerance.
Yeah, well, zero tolerance, but their
Yeah.
threshold is lower than most states.
Oh wow.
So I think it's like 85 there, while most states are like 25 miles over the speed limit, which could be like 95 in some places.
Mhm.
I didn't know. I learned everything new about. So if I'm in Virginia, I definitely have to follow the all the driving laws and definitely don't speed like I normally do.
Yeah, that's what we hear from the locals. So good to know beforehand.
I mean,
Yeah.
anytime we drive someplace, I guess being from the New Jersey, New York area, from you always see that they pull over out of state. The cops pull out over. The
They
cops
pull
pull over
over.
out of state vehicles, and I
Yeah.
guess we grow up knowing that we have a bad reputation in New Jersey and New York, and this whole area does that. Just always, stay the speed limit. Always drive normally when you're outside of New Jersey. When you're in, who cares? The cops, you'll deal with them if they pull you over. It is what it is. But outside, it's like, nope. So it makes no sense because New Jersey has a 2-point reciprocity law. So like I can get an 8-point violation in Virginia. Granted, I can go to jail in Virginia, so I'm still not recommending you do this if you live here and you don't know this. But I can only get 2 points on my license from like a 6-point defense.
Yeah.
So that's kind of their reciprocity with the rest of the U.S. Where I think we're like one of the only states that has that law too. But yet at the same time, we could go to jail and get 6 points of our license on our licenses from reckless driving in New Jersey. But yet we're here and we're like, screw it, let's go.
6
Good.
points, they take away your license, right?
I think it's 12.
I don't know. We need to go back to.
I mean, granted, I
driving
haven't looked
school.
at that since I was like 16,
Driver's
and I had to take my driver's test.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
I live in Indiana. I don't really know too much. Like they just introduced the points policy. I have no idea what any of the rules are really for anything. But I do know, like I'm like 2 hours from Chicago, and you can tell like as soon as you get close to the Illinois border, the speed limit is 55. If you're doing 55, you're too slow. Because it's like 70 or 80 is like the normal speed limit there on the highway.
It's funny because
Yeah,
when
it's
we
crazy.
drive through Indiana, we always notice that usually there's somebody like, because I have family in Chicago, we've toured in that area. There's always somebody from New Jersey pulled over somewhere, and I was one of those people at one point too. But I always noticed that right over the Indiana and Illinois border, there's always a bunch of police waiting to pull people over.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there definitely is. I drove to the new Hard Rock Casino, which is like 2 miles from the border, and I could tell I was getting close to the border because of everyone started driving way faster than me. So yeah, I don't like driving in Chicago very often. I don't recommend it. It's just not fun at all.
Yeah, it's a lot of traffic too. Oh my god.
Yeah. But so I'll be wrapping up this interview. I got a few more things to discuss before we do that. So fun question to wrap this up. So what music have you guys been listening to this week?
This week.
That might not be the best
Oh.
question to ask because we just released a single and a video for that single.
Outside
I
of
probably heard the song more times just making sure it uploaded right or was on Spotify and the master didn't come out like crap in comparison, or the mix rather than mix and master does sounds okay on every single platform it's on. So I've been listening to a lot of Over It lately.
Well, our friends in a band called Pyrotechnica, they released a new single called Dynamite, which is really cool.
Gemini Syndrome. And
Yes, the new Gemini Syndrome song is really awesome.
every
We've been
song
listening
they
to
release
that
they're
song.
amazing.
Yeah,
And Bad Flower. I love Bad Flower.
Yeah.
They've been releasing new material, much like Gemini Syndrome, kind of like a song. For the past 7 months, however long it's been, releasing like a song. A few weeks later, another song, all leading up to an album.
Yeah, they've been
kind of
releasing a lot of singles lately.
Yeah.
Bad Flower.
Yeah.
We're definitely looking forward to seeing them at Blue Ridge. And Gemini Syndrome, too. They're going to be there.
Yeah, they're going to be there. We actually just saw Gemini Syndrome.
When we were filming the video, what was the assistant's name? Do you remember, Andrew? John. So he was wearing this T-shirt with a band called Motionless in White that I had never heard of. Apparently they're pretty well known. I didn't know who they were.
Yeah, they're huge, Lisa.
Yeah,
to say Lisa's a bit behind the times is fine.
But it was a really cool T-shirt, and I was like, so I was talking to John about it, and he turned me on to some albums, so I bought them, and I was listening to them, and I am in love now. Like they're like, they're really good. I love how they just sound so different from one minute of a song to the next. It's I love that kind of eclectic, like all over the place sound. And so I was like really turned on to that. So I've been listening to a lot of them over the past couple of weeks.
Also, to be honest, I mean, with you, Lisa, I love you, but I could tell you anything that happened since 1997. You're like, really? Who is that? I've never heard of them before. They sold 400 million records. Really?
Yes. I listen to different. I listen mostly. I listen to like a lot of punk and death rock. So I listen to metal and rock and things like that. But yeah, like put it this way, I just got into Linkin Park 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they've
so like less of the you've always been like into less of the mainstream
rock. And I when I was younger I was a bit of a music snob, so I didn't give things in the mainstream a fair chance, and now I am, and I'm like, you know what, I was stupid all these years. This is great music, so now I'm kind of like getting into the newer or more mainstream stuff. So I still love my punk, I still love my death rock, but I'm trying to open up a little
nothing wrong with it.
But yeah, so Motionless in White has been a big one for me in the last couple of weeks. And a friend of mine just introduced me to Sleeping with Sirens, who I've never heard of before either. And
yeah,
I dig them. I'm gonna have to get a couple of their albums, So
yeah, I actually just started listening to Sleeping with Sirens recently too, and they're really good.
Yeah, I was impressed. I'd never heard of them. So I love listening to new music that I've never heard of before. And a lot of the times it's mostly me on the internet just searching through like genres that I'm used to listening to. But now, when I have a friend or whatever, someone that I meet who's showing me music in genres that I'm not really that involved in, it's always a little bit more fun because it's like, oh, this is like something totally new, So
I feel like anytime anyone sends me music, it's like, how have I not heard of you before?
There's just so much great music out there. It's really hard
with the advent of where technology is now.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up. It really is.
I remember back in the MySpace days, I was able to have a good time just looking up different new bands, just trying to find new music. Because I guess when MySpace, home recording existed, but for the most part, it sounded like trash. Unless you knew exactly what you're doing and had the space, or things like guitar sims now actually sound like legit amps.
Crazy.
And
it's crazy what you can do.
I remember how they sounded back, when MySpace existed, and nothing like it. You couldn't disguise it. If you did something at home and you didn't know how to do it right, it sounded like it. And I guess that also made the point of entry a little higher. Which there was you were able to find a lot of bands because there weren't as many to pick from, which is good and bad. It causes oversaturation, and you can go into 10-hour long conversation on the nature of the music industry today and labels and how many bands there are, and how we promote on Facebook, and how you social media in general. and advertising now is totally different than what it was.
Hmm.
Nothing is really organic anymore. Not much is.
Yeah, I feel like the music industry is just so oversaturated now that like a lot of good music gets overlooked.
Yeah, I do agree
Which is
with that.
unfortunate.
It is, and what I've kind of noticed is like if one band is like successful, then like you see like 4 or 5 other bands try to copy that sound too, because like oh they're successful, so we'll do just like what they do.
Yeah.
And that's why I mean I do listen to some mainstream stuff, I do love it, but like also I try to find bands who are kind of not in the mainstream that I can still enjoy because
Like out on their own thing and trying to carve their own niche and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So I have a balance with stuff. Like I really like Motionless in White. I saw them open for Hailstorm and Alice Cooper. So like that
Oh,
was
Nice.
an awesome show.
That's so cool.
Yeah, like they're really cool. They're really awesome, and especially like I really like the latest album, Disguise, and like the one before that, Graveyard Shift, because I think it's like some of their best work in my opinion.
Yeah, and their whole aesthetic is so cool too. Like everything about them, like their look, their merchandise always looks really cool.
Yeah, it
They
does.
sound great.
Yeah, and what was funny was Chris. We were at Outdoor Amphitheater in I think Indy, yeah, in Indianapolis, and it was like it was summertime. It was probably like 70 degrees, and he's wearing a Freddy Krueger sweater.
Oh, no.
Back in 70 degrees weather.
I have a friend who actually
That's
is
awesome.
from the area that they're from in Pennsylvania. And he even said like he's seen him out in public, like way in the past, in that kind of getup,
Oh,
like
really?
at Starbucks.
That's even more
I'm
wild.
like, hey, I guess they're committed and whatever works for you, you know?
Listen, I have a Freddy Krueger sweater and I wear it.
I was gonna say that sounds like something that Lisa would be
Outfit.
doing.
It is not a Halloween outfit. It is a sweater. That's just a sweater. It's like, but I
Just a sweater.
just a
Does the
sweater.
mask and fingers come with it too?
What was that?
I said, does the mask and fingers come with the sweater too?
No, but I do have the fingers. I would wear that out as well if I was so inclined.
You should wear them when you play bass. That would be kind of funny.
That might
It's a
be
different kind of pick.
might be a little difficult because it's the left hand, so it's the I don't think I'd be able to pull
Yeah,
that
you
off.
wouldn't be able to finger the bass,
No,
but
not at all.
it'd be kind of like this interesting, mix between fingering and
I'm like,
anyway, fingering and picking.
it wouldn't be you wouldn't be able to hear articulated notes. You would definitely hear some kind of funky
Just
sound.
flub.
Yeah,
That
but it
might
looks
add
cool,
to-
so who cares?
It would be like slap flood. Slap flood. Slap. I can't talk. Flub. Flub. That's the word. I need to learn to speak again.
It's okay.
Well, okay. Well, just real quick, and then I'm gonna wrap up this interview for real. But it's kind of funny you talk about punk music. I really like punk music as well. I just started getting back into listening to it regularly because I'm covering a punk show coming up here in like 2 weeks. So
Awesome.
I've been listening to like Rollins Band, Agent Orange, Black Flag, like all that like old school like punk music. So that's what I've been doing this week.
All right, rock on.
Are
Yeah.
you a Rancid fan too?
Yes, I have all their albums actually.
I love Rancid.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah, that and what I really like I don't know if you've heard of the Interrupters, because I know Tim Timebomb works with them. They're really cool because it reminds me of like they're a female fronted like Rancid pretty much, and that's what I like about them.
Yeah, I've heard them before.
I think I just
Really neat stuff.
heard of that. They do that. What's their
What things?
The Interrupters.
Oh, okay.
that
Yeah.
single that just came that they're I can't remember the name of the song. Crap, it's gonna piss me off now. I don't remember the name of it, but they have this one single out that I got my niece to learn on bass. Because I like showing her female fronted bands just so she, can like get out of that idea that there's only dudes in rock or whatever. And she's learning bass, so I try to get her into female fronted bands, and I think it's the Interrupters that I'm thinking about. They do a lot of work with Rancid, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got her to learn She's Kerosene. Is that?
Yes.
Yes, that's the one. She's Kerosene. I got my niece to learn that song. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's rock and roll.
And I
rock and roll.
just found out about them like by accident listening to Google Play. It came up on a playlist, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is excellent.
Yeah, they just released a live album, I think, like last month, and I picked it up, and like it sounds really good. I haven't seen them because obviously it's 2020, but I would love to see them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm gonna wrap up this interview for real. Awesome time hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, you too,
Share, support, and give a like to Aurin. Check out the music video over it. I'll leave a link for that in the description. But how are you guys gonna close out 2021 and looking into 2022?
So we have a few more shows left. We're playing Blue Ridge, and then we're going to be in Hamden, Connecticut, and Altoona, Pennsylvania in September. And then we'll just be like behind the scenes for the rest of the year, writing and just getting some new music out to you guys. And
as COVID ramps up again, things kind of look hairy, especially in this neck of the woods. So we didn't book anything.
For the rest of the year.
And we're looking to a brighter next year.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I mean, we're going to Paris next year, so I hope it's a brighter next year.
Yes, let's hope. We'll see.
I'm actually going to see Carnival in Paris, so hopefully.
Nice. I hope that works out for you guys. I really do.
Yeah, I'll be crossing my fingers for guys also.
Yeah. I hope so. All you can do is hope for a better 2022, and I really hope it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully.
And we'll definitely be back out on the road in 2022 and all that fun stuff.
Right on. Definitely. Well, I look forward to, obviously, you guys got Blue Ridge coming up, some other shows as well. So if you're going to Blue Ridge, definitely check out and say hi to these people because they're awesome. I had a great time chatting with them.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome,
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course. For Sarah, Andrew, and Lisa of Aurin, I am Matthew Thomas, the host of Super Cool Radio. Thank you so much for watching. Stay frosty.
Yeah.
You take care.